In today's video, we're going to talk about the Fantastic Four, the highly anticipated Fantastic Four, which it's now being confirmed and verified. They revealed and announced it far too early at San Diego Comic-Con 2022 when Avengers 5 and Avengers 6, and they revealed everything that was not ready to come out because it's over a year later and they haven't started rolling yet. But what about the writer's strike? What about the actor's strike that happened? Sure, but you don't start revealing stuff until you're ready, unless Disney forced Kevin Feige, Kathleen Kennedy to start talking about a bunch of Star Wars stuff, and Feige to start talking about a bunch of Marvel stuff that was nowhere near ready to go into proper production. So, yo, what is freaking good YouTube boys? You here if you are new around and make sure subscribe to never miss any of the Marvel, Kaiju, Monsterverse, DC-based content that I try to cover on a daily basis. If you could subscribe to the channel, turn notifications on, and let me know, why is it taking so freaking long for them to start rolling with a Fantastic Four, Avengers 5, Doctor Strange 3, all this stuff should have been in active production over 6 months ago. So, the director of the Fantastic Four, again, is being very hyperbolic, saying stuff, but not actually saying what he means. So, Mr. Shakman has come out and said a lot of stuff recently, and I personally just think he's being very hyperbolic and he's not saying what he means. So, if you could, check us out on Instagram as well, at WarStew, to see the beautiful face behind the beautiful voice, talking into the Shure SM7B that is making my voice sound very succulent. I know, down below. So, a lot of fans, a lot of the audience getting very excited about finding out exactly who is being casted as Reed Richards, etc. But they've not even signed the contracts yet. It's so hyperbolic. So recently in an interview, Shakman said this: "As for any casting news of the Fantastic Four, Shakman couldn't give anything away, but according to the super duper scoopers, Margot Robbie and Matt Smith and yeah, it's probably going to be none of them. He wouldn't give anything away, but stressed the importance of the chemistry between the ensemble. He also promised there would be an announcement at some point, whenever the ongoing SAG strikes are resolved. Doesn't look like they're going to be. So at some point, they've not even signed. I'm thrilled that people are passionate about these characters as I am," Shakman said about the Marvel fan base that is dying. "People say that I criticize DC too heavily, but I'm never harsh on Marvel. And it's like, you clearly don't watch my content if that's what you think. The fact that there is so much debate, I love it. I've been thinking about who should play these characters before I had the job to direct a movie. And I wish it was John Watts directing this movie, because I don't really rate Mr. Shakman as a director, personally. Respectfully. And I understand why everyone would be thinking the same way. Chemistry is super important. It's Marvel's first family. I have to get it right. I have to get the chemistry right. As for casting announcement, it's not going to be immediately when the SAG strike has been resolved, but we'll be able to share some news at some point. And I hope people are excited about the cast as I am." Translation, hyperbolic. Maybe you've got some people locked in, but if legally they couldn't sign the contract. Now, as we know, Shakman is behind WandaVision, and he is technically attached to Monarch, a Legacy of the Monsters, Apple TV's new show. He's the EP on that, and to be fair, it does look pretty damn cool. But there is so much drama going behind the scenes with this, with Avengers. In fact, there's so much drama with the whole of Marvel at the moment. Generally, because of Disney, it looks like. I don't actually think it's Kevin Feige's fault. I think it's more to do with Disney. Shakman also said Marvel's recent troubles haven't been affected development on the Fantastic Four. It hasn't, he confirmed. Never believe anyone in Hollywood. I mean, we've been on our process consistently. We announced it in 2022, and you've literally changed directors. You've gone backwards, lad. You ain't gone forwards. And this is before we talk about the politics and the political part of Disney and Marvel, which I hate talking about, but we've got to kind of talk about it. So, the script and plot seems like it's in a very bad place. So it's recently come out, courtesy of the MCU, reign of Marvel Studios, that Feige and Kathleen Kennedy at Lucasfilm were reportedly pressured by Disney into announcing new projects as Fantastic Four Armored Wars during the Investors' Day in 2020, despite them being nowhere near ready. Also, Avengers 5, Kang's Dynasty, and Secret Wars were confirmed during a San Diego Comic-Con. And again, they were nowhere near ready. which is why there's been a bit of a crazy backlash, because I don't think they're ready for any of this stuff. And now you've got certain parts of the Marvel fandom being like, yeah, scrap everything that's not to do with the multiverse. I get where you're going, but we kind of need the other stuff to build up the multiverse stuff. So there's an article going around the internet over the last few days. More bad news for the MCU Fantastic Four. And I think it does have a lot of credence. Now, it does go over the same article that covered the Matt Shakman information about the casting. Personally, I don't believe anything's locked in, although he can keep saying it, because if the cast were already signed and locked in, as soon as the strikes were over, you'd be on that, because Marvel needs as much good press at the moment as they can possibly get. So this article says alarm bell number 1, and it really contradicts yourself. Now, a lot of people seem to think that movies in the MCU should follow exactly what happens in the comic books. Marvel's never really done that, but you can't really contradict what you say. So this article on this website says this: alarm bell number 1. When asked if the Fantastic Four movie will pay homage to the classic stories from the Marvel comics, or if you have original stories in mind, this is where the alarm bells got ringing. I know cosmicbook.news gets a lot of backlash and a lot of hate, but then again, the scoopers on Twitter get pretty much everything wrong. The idea that I have loved so much about Marvel is that we're not just going to take a run that exists and translate it into a film. That's pretty much exactly what you should do, because even if you're not a massive comic book fan like me, it would still translate. We're going to do what every great run has done, which is stand on the shoulders of what came before, but then think about how we, as artists, living in the moment, process it. What we're all processing. What story do we want to tell right now that feels true to us as people? And that is informed, though, by everything that's come before. As I made this bold above, which is alarming, is that it mentioned that living in the moment, processing what we're all processing, telling the story that we all want right now that feels so true to us as people, as per report on AF. So to say you're a massive comic book fan of Marvel's first family, the Fantastic Four, and then basically just run with some kind of script that's correlated to what's going on in real life. I hate to give you some kind of spoiler warning here, but the audience doesn't want politics or whatever's going on in the current world in some kind of cinematic universe. That's not what they want. So there's another thing here, and this fan art of Margot Robbie playing Sue Storm, I really think that would be the case, but a lot of people seem to think they already know who it is. So alarm bell number 2 is, so earlier in the month, it became known in Marvel Comics that Sue Storm is considered the Indiana Jones of Marvel. It says, so right in the comics, the comic finally explained a big retcon from a decade ago in regards to Marvel Comics, retconning the origin of Reed Richards, because even if you're not a comic fan, you know Reed Richards is the head of the family. And Sue Storm falling in love, in short. What the retcon does is part Sue Storm as an equal footing with Reed Richards, becoming more apparent because in their 60-year history, she never was. So apparently what this is saying is Sue Storm could be the lead of the Fantastic Four, which, again, would kind of push this feminist, female-driven movie rather than, you know, having Mr. Reed Richards, Mr. Fantastic, like John Krasinski was Reed Richards in Multiverse of Madness. Whilst the MCU Fantastic Four movie happens to be rumored to be all about Sue Storm, she's the star, she's the main character, apparently she makes the other 3 dudes look like the movie, including her husband, who has been holding her back, fitting with Feige's approach to Captain Marvel Phase 4 beyond. So no surprise there. I mean, I don't really like to give my own opinions on this kind of stuff, but if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Meaning, keep Reed Richards as the lead of Marvel's first family. So then the article goes on to say this. So who happened to come up with the idea, or at least write the story a decade ago, retconning how Reed and Sue met and are now equals? Matt Fraction. A decade ago, Marvel Comics relaunched the Fantastic Four following Jonathan Hickman, a comic book legend, run as part of It's Now Marvel initiative. Long story short, Marvel now was woke, killed and replaced all the characters for political correct reason. It's something Feige has been adopting with MCU. You can't really say he hasn't. Fraction's Fantastic Four would not only retcon Reed and Sue, so they're now equal, but the Fantastic Four would assign a team replacement while they were out in space. She-Hulk, Medusa, Ant-Man, and the purple-haired Darling Deering. Much like a lot of stuff to come of Marvel now, The drove of fans away. Frictions left after 12 issues, and the series was quickly cancelled after 16 runs. Getting back to the MCU Fantastic Four, here is the second alarm bell going off. Shakman happened to be working on the Godzilla Apple TV show. Shakman also mentioned he keeps comic book writer Matt Fraction's work, who also worked on Monarch Legacy of Monsters. That TV series looks great, and had a run on the Fantastic Four comic in the loop creatively. Yeah, I can absolutely talk to Matt about it. He continued. He's great. He's brilliant. And, you know, he's a big part of the Marvel family over there in terms of Hawkeye, which was kind of mediocre, kind of mid, for sure, as well as, you know, he worked on several films too. And I think he's worked on Thor. And yeah, he's a brilliant guy. So, I hate to say it, is the Fantastic Four gonna be woke? We don't know, but I really hope that Reed Richards is the lead of Marvel's family, because let's keep to the source material. But we're sure you're not a comic book guy. I'm not, but they should still keep to the source material. It's going to be very interesting to see who they have actually casted in these roles. Apparently, they haven't actually casted anyone that's very hyperbolic. Otherwise, they would reveal the casting instantly after the strike ends. Disney forcing Feige and Kathleen Kennedy to reveal a bunch of projects before they were ready. Well, we didn't actually need anyone to say that. That was so freaking obvious. Bob Iger's behind everything that's happened that's gone bad, allegedly, reportedly. Well, when it says Disney, you have to understand Bob Iger was in charge at the time. He kind of pieced for a little bit and let Chapek reportedly take the blame. So really, when it says Disney, it's alluding to Bob Iger. Wow, interesting, because it's like, yo, Avengers 5, Avengers 6, Secret Wars, The Blade, which got announced at Comic-Con 2019, I remember, because I was literally in Mexico, Cancun, when they revealed that. It's now 2023, and we haven't even got the first draft. Well, we have, but they rewrote it all. So Disney, Marvel, they've been hyping the to everything, underperforming because they haven't really got stuff out. It's pointless revealing all this stuff. We all knew it was leading to Secret Wars. We all knew Secret Wars was going to be a major soft reboot. I don't know why people are running with it. Oh, it's breaking news, a soft reboot after Secret Wars. There shouldn't really need to be one, because there should have been a major reboot after Endgame, which we kind of had, but we didn't, because they tried to introduce characters like Miss Marvel, Hawkgirl, and then they didn't really do, Shang-Chi. They haven't really done anything with these new characters. And then you got Jokers thinking there's going to be a World War Hulk movie. Well, I hate to tell you this, Universal have the rights, so that's never coming anytime soon. Don't care what Twitter little scooper says that. Universal still have the rights, otherwise there would be a World War Hulk movie already. Your boy War Stew said they should do that literally about 5 years ago on this channel. That's what they're building to, but sadly, I don't think we're ever going to go. So I do like Marvel, and I think it's interesting that people are like, yeah, War Stew, you're so freaking hard on DCU and what's going on over there, but you never criticize Marvel. I criticize Marvel more than I criticize DC. You just don't really notice, or you're selective of what you actually listen to. So like always, guys, check us out on Instagram at WarStew to see the beautiful face behind the beautiful voice. Check us out on Twitter, WarStewG. Also, if you could, memberships are open on this channel. It would really help me, really help the channel out. It would really send some love to me. It's there if you want to use it. It's very, very cheap. It's like 99p. It's always been there. I don't like to plug stuff like that, but I thought I'd plug it once in a while. So like always, guys, I'll catch you in another video very soon. Catch you later.